our champion. Well, for me,
You have
Arizona State.
valid, completely valid. I thought you were gonna pull some other team out, some other random team out of the bag. Like I've
Nah.
I never
Yeah,
know with you, man.
Hey, I mean, sometimes I'll pull stuff out the bag and they either get close or they win. So, you know, again, we're well researched over here. Kyson Brown and Connie Udo were, if you had to replace 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝗀𝗀, you're going to have to do it with two people. So, and the fact that 𝗕𝙤𝐵 Brown is on this team, bruh. I know he transferred in last season from USC, but 𝗕𝙤𝐵 Brown was supposed to be the guy at USC. You remember those days?
Yep.
He was supposed to be it.
At a modern day high school.
Yep.
All-purpose back.
Craziness to think about. Yeah, Jalen Moss coming over from Fresno State is a huge addition. It's going to keep, most importantly, Jordan Tyson to be healthy. Malik McClain is so interesting because he was at Florida State a couple of years ago. And I remember when he transferred to Penn State and now he's here. So another one of those guys that was supposed to be one of those ones that can come out of nowhere. And then again, we've been talking about Jordan Tyson for a very, very long time here. Last season, if he was in that double overtime game against Texas, it wouldn't have even been going to overtime. I believe they would have beat them by just the way that they were playing in that game. They needed just one more extra weapon to be out there. And people are starting to see how good he is. Yeah, are these high expectations for Kenny Dillingham? Of course. You have 9 starters that are returning on our defense, which is a great sign. That's 9 of your 11 starters. That's more than awesome. They're going to have a good receiving core. You know, hopefully they have a good receiving core. Sam Leavitt was in our top 10 quarterbacks. A lot of people have him higher than we had him. Same thing with Garrett Nussmeier too. A lot of people had him, you know, very, very high in their rankings as well. But the thing is, man, Jordan Tyson, I can't say it enough. He's got Jordan Tyson, who earned the Big 12 Offensive Newcomer of the Year honors as well. That's high praise, man. I love the way that Kenny Dillingham cares about his players. You can see the emotion that he plays with, or that he coaches with. Even when he was at Florida State, man, I've been fortunate to watch his journey, you know, from Florida State to Oregon to now being a head coach. And this guy is my age, right? And so I feel a weird attachment to Kenny Dillingham in a couple of different ways. Pause, by the way, if necessary. But yeah, he's a better coach than what people give him credit for, man. And it's so funny that Will Stein is going to be the next one, right? He's going to be the next one. And he took over a defense that is highly complicated to learn. And he's going to be a head coach one day. So Dan Lanning is looking at, this would be crazy if, well, they won the Big 12 championship. So Kenny has done something that Dan hasn't done yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Dan Lanning he didn't win a conference championship.
I thought they just beat Penn State. Yeah, they did.
Oh, wait. You're right. Wait.
Yeah.
I said,
yeah. I was like, wait. Yeah, no.
Bro,
yeah, beat Penn State this year.
Oh my God, bro. You know what? I still have PTSD from the Washington days, man. That's what it is. I'm sorry. Yeah, you are absolutely right. Because it was Dylan Gabriel and the boys went undefeated, blah, blah, blah. Beat Penn State. Yeah, you're right. So they both cooked in the same year, which must be nice.
Yeah.
Two chefs in the kitchen. But Will Stein would be another one. That'd be crazy if all 3 of them, and Will Stein, wherever he ends up going, they all end up in the college football playoff one day playing against each other. What if that's the path that one of them has to follow, is to play all 3 of them?
Dan Lanning has to face the trail of his assistants.
Yeah. Hey, Nick Saban had to.
Nick Saban had to do that like every single year. Lane Kiffin, Kirby Smart, Steve Sarkisian, Jimbo, everyone.
Mm-hmm. That's still my favorite prediction. I always bring that up. That's still my favorite one of all time. Go back to the comment section when I said that Nick Saban's going to get beat by both of his two of his assistants that year. It was Kirby and Jimbo. And people said, that's not possible. Yes. All right. Khalid, go ahead and get into your winner, bro.
Yeah, I had Baylor here. This isn't going to come
fighting with myself.
Yeah.
I literally had to pick up the Pikachu. I was punching them, bro.
I was curious if you would do the same. But no, this doesn't come as any surprise to y'all if you've been watching our channel over the last few months. I've talked about Baylor a lot. I'm very high on them, obviously, and I think I have a lot of great reasons to do so. First of all, you return 10 starters on offense and 8 on defense. Well, okay, that's great. You look at last season, 8-5. How did they end the season? With a loss to LSU in the Texas Bowl, but they ended the regular season on a 6-game winning streak. And that winning streak was in large part thanks to running back Bryson Washington, who is someone who we have watched a lot of film on, someone who we think could be one of the top running backs in this next draft class should he declare. He's going to be a redshirt sophomore, so he is in no rush to get on out of here. He'll still have 2 more years of eligibility left after this season, but he can enter the draft. Pairing him up with Sawyer Robertson at quarterback, who's hopefully going to be fully healthy, is going to be really important for this Baylor team. And they added some key transfers on both sides of the ball, key contributors. You add defensive tackle Samu Samu. It's a mouthful. Samu 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝗀𝗲𝗀𝗃. Big old Polynesian boy. From Texas
A&M, yeah.
Yep. 6'3", 350. Big dude. He's going to be probably a nose tackle for them. So adding that, a key contributor on the defensive line is going to be really important. But then you also go out there into the portal, and from Alabama, you add Kobe Prentice at wide receiver, giving you a deep threat option, right? You return your top 2 receivers in Josh Cameron and Ashton Hawkins, and your starting tight end, Michael Trigg. They're returning guys, across the board. But when you bring back Bryson Washington, who rushed for 12 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards, and 5.9 yards per carry, you are setting yourself up for success this next season. The thing that I like about Baylor's schedule is how they only have one opponent who's not Power 4. Yeah. Like, it's not just they have one opponent who's not FBS. They have one opponent who's not Power 4. They kick off the season with Auburn. That's going to be a great game. Why? Because I think at that point, Baylor could show a lot of people that they're legit. They play Auburn in Waco, Texas.
Dave Aranda's one of the best defensive minds in the game, bro. Like, we talked about what's his name earlier. We got to throw Dave Aranda in there. Like, I mean, it is we've been like wanting Dave Aranda to have success for so long. He saw last year, and yes, Ardell Sawyer Robinson is going to deliver yet again, bro. He was badass last year. But go ahead, continue. Don't let me steal your thunder.
No, you're good. I really do think that. I really do think that they're going to beat Auburn in week 1. I think that they're going to do it pretty convincingly. And while people recognize that Auburn is probably not going to be a great team, it's going to be like, whoa, Baylor. Okay, we got to take you seriously, right? Because it's always insert team name here could never survive an SEC schedule. They couldn't beat Auburn and Arkansas and Vanderbilt. Baylor's about to show you that they could. Then, also keep in mind, they also added in as a backup quarterback, once Sawyer Robertson is gone, Walker White, who just came in from Auburn. So they got someone who knows the program of their first opponent, inside and out. Then you play at SMU, right? Just coming off of a playoff appearance, just right up the highway. Samford, their one non-power 4 opponent. And then you get into your conference slate here with your Big 12 games, but playing both Auburn and SMU back to back to begin the season, I think is going to really test them, right? You want to have a good litmus test to understand where you are as a team. And if things aren't clicking for them, it's going to be a wake-up call as they go throughout the Big 12 slate. And I think that that's exactly what you want if you're a team like Baylor, who has high expectations and returns a lot of starters. You need to be able to dial in if things aren't going right. And I think that those two games, one against Auburn, who's kind of reeling, and SMU, who is arguably at like an all-time high right now, you got to go in there and take care of business. I think that Baylor has a great chance of making the playoffs, right? Obviously, I have them winning the Big 12, so they would be making the playoffs. But even if they don't win the Big 12, I think that there's a good chance with 1 or 2 losses that they are in that 12-team pool. And it's going to be on the backs of Sawyer Robertson and Bryson Washington and this defense that is going to be really, really experienced. When, like you mentioned, Dave Aranda, being a former defensive coordinator, he's a defensive-minded guy. He's going to have that defense ready every single week. So I'm going to see if I can try to, get myself out to one of those games up there in Waco. Well, it's only an hour and a half away from me, but this team, I think, is ready to compete. And there's a lot of seniors on this team as you look up and down the starting, their starters and their entire roster. All of the chips are on the table, right? They're going all in this season. So for Baylor, there's high expectations with that. I think they'll meet it.
Man, you've crossed off everything that I was thinking of, like putting these dudes either as a runner-up or winner. And it's just, I think there's some skill position players that are just better on my 2 picks that kind of trump them being in those two positions. Yeah. But Baylor might be the best all-around team when it comes to they might be the 3rd best team, and we might see another situation at the end of the season where we're thinking about a Big 12 conference scenario where a guy gets into the college football playoff, or at least gets talked about, and Baylor may be that team.
And people better be talking real soon.
Jason and Don have Kansas State, so that's the reason why they were runner-ups. And then Sora had ASU. Don't know why the boxes are the gray color, but our winner is Arizona State University Sun Devils.